Bye, guys. On the streets, the stories right. All on you, they shine with pride. Toyota, Nissan, hi guys. No propaganda.
Checks, we lead the way. Track your car, no games to play. Restore the past, drive into tomorrow. We bring the love, not just the horsepower. Is it a no or a TX ride? We'll show you what's real, not just the hype. Starlit views and engine walls. We teach you more than just for doors. And tools from the basics up. Trucking gear and car gear stuff. If you're new or a season vet, for the love of cars, you ain't seen nothing yet. We keep learning, driving proud. This is more than just machines. It's the love, the life, the people. For the love of cars, Uganda, we roll. From dusty road to beams we patrol. With your steams we break it down. Helping every driver in the town. For the love, for the love, for the love of cars, Uganda.
Hi, John's Info. How are you? Joshua Eden Farm. Hey, how are you? And then W Joshua. Hi, how are you? And then Muyanja Derek. How much is inspection? Inspection is 450,000 shillings for 1 day of inspection in the Kampala CBD. Richard Wanga. Hi, Felix Mani. Hi, David Tadesh. Hi, Muyombia Mark. Hi, Mpanga Godfrey. Hi, Dan Okenya. This Danny Okenya Bilo Ola. You know that your name at a certain point has Kenya in it. Arthur, quick one. Did you buy a new camera? The quality of weekly roundup videos is upgraded. No. We use the same camera. We use the same camera. I think we did something with the settings, but it's the same. Everything is the same. We have not yet upgraded anything. I think we just need to work on the sound. There is a set of microphones that I want to bring in. One of you guys does importing. I had a guy that I was using for importing, but then I realized he was actually getting the things and then importing them through the guy that was here, whom I also did inspection for. And so he goes to China for like 3 weeks and then comes back to Uganda. So now he's in China, and so there are things that he's getting for me. I'm getting a set of DJIs. Was it a DJI? Yeah. So DJI gives us very good sound. That's what we will be using. Semwanga Suda is high. Morris Atoms high. Second hand Wish 2010 model 25, 26, 27 there. Katata ugula second hand Wish in the Sawas Nongula Mwempia Lumune Manja. Hi JK, how are you? So we bought the Toyota Alphard on Friday. Fridays are normally tough because in back on Meza. So they're tough. And on Friday morning, a lady called me and And she said, Arthur, are you free to do an inspection? I needed money, for God's sake. Like, you're going to ask me something like that. Full amount. So today is Sunday vibes, guys. And it's another hot Sunday. It's hot, but also not so hot. I drove to go to the market today. Today is one of those days that I slept without being woken up. I have a friend of mine and he sleeps until his something wakes him up, and it has to be money. So on Saturday he can sleep up to midday, and on Sunday he can sleep up to 5 p.m. until something pretty important wakes him up. So today I tried to copy him, and I woke up at 2:30 p.m. Not really waking up, but like I was in bed awake. Like, I think you just get used to being awake. Not only about to Ghana. Yeah, but today is one of those days. And after the broadcast, I have to like wash the car. I'm addicted to washing the car. Even when it's not dirty, I have to wash it. And then Isaac Katende, hi, how are you? So today I just want us to talk about the Toyota Alphard. And as I share the story of the lady, I'm also going to be telling you why you guys should be considering buying the Alphard. And I would not obviously buy the Alphard, but a lot of you guys should be buying the Alphard, and I'm going to be telling you why. So the lady calls me. Eglosako's a broadcast. We were shooting. You know, there is an episodic shoot we want to introduce to the channel where we travel and record our travel. So yesterday we were on Mitiana Road, and we were also, there is a Toyota Nua that I inspected a couple of months ago. So it started breaking down. Guys, when we buy a car, let me just put this out there. When we buy a car, just service the engine. Don't service anything else. Service the engine alone. Mpozi, if you want to service anything else, check the brakes. But you don't go to a petrol station and they tell you katukebere ku sisi, bakebera ku waji. The one thing, the one thing you guys need to understand about these guys that do service for your cars, they're out to make money. They don't care about you. You see, there are two kinds of people in the world. There are people who benefit from caring about you, and there are people who benefit from just making the quick buck. Let me put it this way. Omuntu nga afuna mugwe bwobeera obulungi, afaayo nnyo okulaba ng'oli bulungi. Hi Rama, how are you? If someone benefits from you having a good life, they will make sure you have a good life. If someone benefits from a transaction, a single transaction, and they walk away and you might never get to see them again, that person will maximize the one transaction that they know they're going to have with you. The Nua we bought, and the gentleman went and did service at a petrol station in the center of town. Now, those petrol stations in the center of town, they are transactional. They know they're not going to see you on a Sunday. They're not going to see you on a Saturday. They know you have been driving through and you realized you needed to have your car serviced. So they are going to maximize that one transaction. They will not give a damn about you. And I've been telling you this time and again. But somehow, some of you guys still have big heads. You think, you're Arthur Tamanyi Mberazabantu. There are people that will maximize the transaction. Hi, Martin Arthur. So this particular person went to a petrol station in the center of town, even when I told him a particular place to go. There are particular places that I've done service from, and I know that they are a little bit accountable. So I told him go to this particular place, and he did not go. So he was in a hurry. He went to a certain place and they serviced his differential. diff ye ne bagikola. It's a newer 4-wheel drive. But bakola mu differential ye. So they drive the car. The car doesn't really move. Medium or high, how are you? I'm okay. Senyonjo Michael, hi. Charles, hi. So the car tebajivuga nnyo. There's a bajivuga ne bajimutwalira. It was the car was in Mitiana as well. So I didn't hit 2 birds with 1 stone because I still spent on my production, but I also went with a mechanic and we used my diagnosis machine to check it out. So a couple of weeks ago, I think the car starts misbehaving, and the mechanics in Mitiana tell this person that, guys, you're 37, we have only 30, we have only 9 likes. Guys, double tap, yeah, double tap. So they tell the person that it's a valvematic that has a problem. Guys, valvematic tiza kulemesa moroka kutambula. So we went there and we did the initial checks. The car ngate tambula ngemipira je kutte. So they needed to be loosened up. They loosened them up, but it was bringing a 4-wheel drive error. So when the machine reported the 4-wheel drive error, I asked the person, did you ever service the gearbox? They said no. Then I asked him, what did you service? He said, well, they changed it. They changed the CC. Guys, mugireke mwabagule muroka za 4-wheel nadala ngo gijjemo bon diff jesonyiwe. CC doesn't reduce okujjako nge moroka yo eina leakage. Moroka we bate eina leakage. CC takendeera. CC takola ki? Okujjako nga diff eina leakage. Naika diff eina leakage. Diff bakwatako ya chimbu gikyusa CC. So anyway, the car now moves. Atemoroka webera mu 4-wheel yekwata. But it was in Mitiana, so we requested the car be brought to Kampala, and then we try out with parts. Ebika ebintu bibiri. Ebika 4-wheel, nebika ne loss of communication with the gearbox, with the gearbox system. Now, I don't want to say it has anything that wrong with it, but the day we bought that car, I think I had another inspection. And this is a car we bought, and then I think the gentleman went on to do every other thing. Now guys, one thing you need to be careful with is if they are riveting your car, when they're adding electronics in your car, you need to be very careful. I'll give you an example. Bayinza okwata steno ne babanga basiba mu akasumali somewhere ne kakwata mu waya. Akasumali ako bwe kakwata mu waya ne kakwata mu battery ya body oba ne kakwata mu chassis, your car will start malfunctioning, but just because of that loss of power, akasumali kayuziza wire. Some of those things you need to be very careful. That's why personally when I'm working on a car, I work with specific people because I know they are careful. Some time ago, people would call me from Kabali and I'll send them a young man to go install trackers for them and alarms. Now I don't do that anymore. Why don't I do that anymore? It's because the young man was good, but I think when he was alone, he would do it in a hurry or experiment and would always have challenges with cars up country. So now anybody that's up country, I tell him the day you can pass by in Kampala, come and we install. I'm not saying that they are not good. They are definitely good. But sometimes I think some people forget. There's also another person here. He's one of us here. I told him, take a data kulayini. Bwetagira ng'omanya layini bagisarako teyabikola. Bandi awo nga mpeteza message nga akolima, I sent you my message, nogano kukikwata kale. So I told him, you know what, drive that Kojirate, because the line was going through but the tracker was off. Kati okuleta moroka ne infra technician najikebera nga line bagisarako dda. Guys, when you put a tracker in your car, keep putting a data kebitano once in a while, so that our company bafunamu call, because we have bafunamu kola iniyo tebajja kujijjako. But also when you have a tracker in your car, keep checking that tracker to make sure that the tracker is actually on. Other than that, jakuvako nga totegedde nokugamba tracker yafa. Okitegira, you'll even get a point of saying atha bachi tracker kya mujango kijemunze ngule tracker endala. So let's not get there. So I want us to compare the Toyota Alphard And let me just ask you a question here. And then you also need to give me a reason, eh? That's not what I want. No. Now, I understand that some of you guys like other cars, eh? So, Bajita, Serena. And then there is this other thing called a Biante. So, I've put options for you. And I want you guys to vote. But after you have voted, you need to comment in the reasons. Give me a reason why you're choosing that particular car. Hello, at a long time. Hope all is well. I saw someone talking about the newer GS model and it's sporty. What do you say about the GS model? I didn't know about it, but it looks so nice compared to the SI. Yeah, it's just a trim. It's just a trim of that of the newer. So, guys, I am asking you, of those 4 options, which one would you choose? Now, give me a question in the comments as well. Richard Aki, hi. David Sembate, hi. Emmanuel, I think we're still with Emmanuel, hi. Can I get a good car at 10 million? Cars at 10 million to consider between 10 and 12. Mark X, Mark 2 Grand, Mark 2 Musota, Chesa, Cresta, Crown, Vista Adio. Nevis sometimes, but the max. Anti we are getting more than 10 million. Gategena kusumba tubere ku max okusinga the max. Mark 2, Mark 2, Mark X, even a Mark 10. I saw a well-maintained Land Cruiser SX. I'm having second thoughts on the Vitama. Auntie, well-maintained starts from way back. You may not be able to get a very well-maintained SX. That's the problem. Right? That's the problem. And guys, I discovered a beach in Mitiana yesterday. But anyway, you guys wait for that episode. We discovered a beach, and it's not very far from Mitiana town. So guys, let's talk about the Alphard as we share the story. So on Friday morning, remember I didn't run, so a lady calls me. I was getting ready to go do some recordings and she says, are you free to go inspect a car? And I asked her, what car do you want to buy? And she said, Arthur, I want to buy a Toyota Noah 2008 model, but I have a first installment of 12 million. Yes, you had it right. 12 millions. Millions coming up, Billy. Which take it, Jovan, test the notification. Alphard seems just big and plastic. Are you sure? Have you driven one? Arthur, Mbera Katosi Road. The road is not bad, na fuel. Prius 2008, 2008, how is fuel consumption? Budget per month. Just know the Prius is... hybrids will give you the best mileage. Any hybrid. Is it on Lake Wamala? Yeah, it's on Lake Wamala. That's Lake Wamala. Yes. That's Lake Wamala. Yeah, that's Lake Wamala. It's a very nice... And that couple is Katata Wazake. So anyway, the lady calls me and she says, I want to buy a Toyota Noah. I have 12 million as first payment. And then I say, I am not sure you can get a Noah, especially the model you want. Maybe you could get the 2004, 2005 model. Now, because I've had challenges with people that say, Athans, it is a Sente Zange. I told her point blank, but the car you're going to get will consume more fuel than the 2008 model that you want. And she said, yes, no problem. I want to come and we go look at cars. Now, at the time on the phone, I did not know that she was in town before, the day before, looking for a car. Okay? And guys, I don't want you to use me as bachitabatia, as cushion. So I think that's what happened. So when she finally, she said, let me take a board and come to you. She took a border and she came to me. And when she came, that's when I realized, that's when she told me that, you know what, Arthur, I came to town yesterday and I went around the bond. I have a friend of mine who took me around. We looked at various cars, but the interest rate was too high. A car of like 40, they want to sell it to you at 50 or 60 million. And yeah, so, but I was honest with her. She sat here and I told her, Soko to route, so to getting a inspection. Because Friday is tough for me. So normally I don't even want to do inspections on Friday. So I made her sit and I talked to her and I told her, your money will be able to get you a car of about 15 million cash. So you pay 12 so that they increase the money to about 16.5 or 17, and then you pay them the 12, and yeah, and the rest you know. Which take it. So, and I told her, but the 2004-2005 Nua you're getting, I highly don't recommend it. Why don't you get a Wish? And she tells me, Arthur, the kind of business I'm in, I take things that are really long, Zetaga height. So the Nua is the only car that could work for me. And I say, okay, but you need to understand that the car you're getting will not be as good as this one. Because and I told her it will not be perfect because of your first installment. I also made sure to tell her that if you have 12 million as first payment, there are not very many people that are going to want to sell the car to you. And this is something that probably all of you guys need to know. Not so many people want to sell you their cars. So we agreed on this. And there were only 2 Nuas from my phone calls that we could look at Ezabade Noji because the car was going up country. And we sat there. I was waiting for people to confirm to me that the cars actually exist. So I called the mechanic I was going to work with and he came. And just like that, there was one car that was in Mukono. Now there are people based in Zagama, muntu gwesi in Zagama tukula ingini ebulamu. Muntu agenda up country, inzo butatuka up country. So there was only one Nua that we had to look at. So as we were moving, the idea crept up of buying a Toyota Alphard, and just like that, I bought it. Me. Now I'm going to tell you why I bought it. I bought it because the Toyota Nua 2004-2000, it's at 2002 up to around 2005. That's the Toyota Nua we're talking about. And apart from consuming quite some fuel, maintenance, our mechanics did not really master it. Yes, they can maintain it, but they did not really master it. So it's hard for them to actually keep on the road. It's delicate in terms of what fuel you take. And also, it's not a car that is ideal. Under normal circumstances, I would not recommend someone to buy it. But because she had an installment of 12, that was the thing. So I sold the idea of the Alphard to her, and good enough, she was in touch with her husband. So she calls the husband, and we're talking back and forth. And then we explain to the husband why we are recommending the Alphard. One, it's very easy to get an Alphard that is in good condition, okay, below 20 million, than to get a Nua that is in good condition below 20 million. 2, the kind of work she described to me that she does, the Alphard will give her more space, both in the width, in the length here, and in the height. The Alphard will definitely give her more space. 3, the car she was buying wasn't for luxury, it was for business. So fuel consumption will be a thing if the car is going to be business. Instead of buying a car that is going to be in the garage, yeah, why don't you just buy a car? Consumption katono, because I'll tell you this, the Toyota Nova 2002 to 2006, 2005 seems like it's a 2 liter, but it actually says The Alphard, because of the improved technology, consumes the same. The Nua might actually do worse. And then, is that number 4? The kind of work she does, branding the Alphard, giving it the branding of her business, would give her more prestige, will get her more gigs than a Toyota Nua. So based on the background, I recommended that we buy the Alphard. Also, based on the fact that although I recommended the Nua, I wasn't so comfortable with that model of the Nua. She even reached a point of saying, if you don't get a Nua, then I'll buy a Karaum and go and drive myself. So I said, let's look at the Nuas and Alphards. And indeed, there was only one Nua that we had to look at. When I reached Nua Bidi, I also have to read my report. We saw 2 Nuas. Now, it's important for you to note that the only reason we bought that Alphard at 19 million shillings is because it looked good, both inside and outside. So we head out to look at the Nuas, and I'm not happy. So I switch and I say, let's just start looking at the Alphards. So we looked at the first Alphard. I found that it looked good. It was cream. Cream interior always looks better. Katene young gray. If this car was cream, it would look fantastic. Cream is brighter than this. This is gray. So it was nice. But the car looks good. But the car is going up country, and that car had parked for a couple of months probably. So I said, because it hasn't really worked for some time. So I decided to ditch it. So we went and looked at another Alphard. Now that one I had recommended we buy it because the asking price was 16 million shillings. It was a UBE. I think even the one we bought was a UBE. It was a UBE, and it had a good engine. Basically, the Alphard. But this was a good one. And guys, double tap. Thank you very much, Martin. So, Benon Kakoza, hi Joshua. 17 million good Raktis. You can get a Raktis. Majority of the time you're going to get a 1.3. Don't buy it. Make sure you get a 1.5. But yes, it's possible. So this one, Gatituna Vugamo, the lady did not like it because it was black. It had black interior. And she thought it was dirty. And we did not even drive because she thought it was dirty. So I sat and told her, but the rest of the cars, because I know the Alphard, and some of you guys that have gotten me for inspection, you have seen. So I told her now, this is the only Alphard we get at 16 and below, because we could have like negotiated. So someone called us in Bakuli, and I felt really bad. We spent an hour to get to Bakuli. When we got there, the person then was because the car they called us for does not exist. And then we had to drive back another hour on the road. And yeah, so we drove back, and as we were driving back, someone called us for the Alphard, and that's the Alphard we bought. They wanted 20 million for it. If we were paying 12 million first installment. So, but the lady had mentioned to me she could up her budget to about 15. So I convinced her to somehow get her first installment up to 14, because if she got the installment a little higher, the other person will also reduce how much she finally buys the car. So we got to the place, drove the Alphard, tested it, and it was good. It was cream, the color that looks clean. And yeah, so the owner of the car finally came through, V80, and then they sat, they talked, they agreed on the price. And it was Friday. I had a chimeza chimoroka. I had to pick my kids from school. And I went to pick my kids. And then so I went, picked my kids, went for the chimeza. They took the car for service. They checked everything with the mechanic that we bought the car with. And after they did all that, they brought the car to us. And yeah, that's how we ended. Am I happy about the purchase? There was one that was 15, and the fact that we are buying the car for work, I would not have minded buying a black interior car. But the cream one looks newer, right? So we had to add the car budget and buy that car. So she was given 5 months to pay the balance. That means she finishes around April, right? December, Jan, Feb, March, April. Yes, she pays the balance by April 2026, which is good. Stephen Luzige, hi. Ashraf, yes, you can get a Mark II Grand at 11. Very good. But very serious. They will be attending Antene to by now. Bani. Mogera kudasha ne starch tebanajja. So guys, I'm asking you to vote. Njagala kuva ku broadcasting Jose Moroka yange malinge ne stule ebyuma mali nebaki. Sunday is the day I get to relax. Sikwata na masimu ku Sunday. Sikwata masimu ku Sunday kati. That's one thing I've made for myself. I answer all my phone calls every day, Monday to Saturday. But Sunday okuja kunga it's an emergency. And an emergency means someone calls you 5 times. It's an emergency. It's a family in the quarter. But business phone calls is a quarter ku Sunday. It's just something I made out for myself. So guys, I'm telling you to vote, and apparently 5% of you guys have said you would buy the Nissan Serena, 30% of you would buy the Alphard, and 65% would buy the Nua. Now, let me just tell you why I would choose the Nua if I were in some of you guys' positions. And I have a bit of notes here. Both these cars are MP, and the Alphard has a 2.4 liter and a 3.5 liter. The Toyota Nua has a 2 liter and a 2.5 liter. Most of you guys have not seen the 2.5 liter. The Alphard is more executive. Yeah. The Nua is yege. But of course, for us as Ugandans, the Nua is a yeah. So, and of course, the Alphard targets the VIP, targets people that want luxury. The Nua targets the middle class. Both cars were launched in early 2000. With the Nua being launched in 2001, get them carry Nua Kasogai. And then of course Alphard was launched in 2002. So, and both these cars have hybrid versions, with the Nua hybrid starting 2014, the Alphard hybrid starting 2015. If you can get the hybrid version of these cars, it's even fantastic, because they look after them very well and you'll have the best time of your life. Now, the Nua has a Moroka engine, 3ZR, yeah? Has a 3ZR engine. It's the most popular one, and I would recommend that it's the one that you buy, yeah? And the Nua will give you consumption of 8-9 kilometers per liter mixed driving. On the highway, you go up to 15 if you're lucky, yeah? Now, both cars have sliding doors, and both cars can take up to 7 passengers and the driver. Now, I want to particularly talk about the Toyota Alphard, which comes with the 2SZ engine. The 2SZ will be found in the Kaundo. It will be found in the... which other cars? The models in Morocco. The Biante looks a little weird in my opinion. I find it not good looking at all. Can 15 million shillings get me a home new model? Yes, not perfect, but yes. World War 3 liter Javaita 1MZ, the beta V6. You guys know that engine, eh? The 1MZ is the 1MZ the Villa da Muharia or Edienka, then the Japake, which together. And then all these cars will have sliding doors. Now, most of the Alphards have 2 sliding doors. So pesa wobera one see, like here. You can press the power button, and then you press the buttons to open. Na yezo zifanyo edane yo Alphard jetwaguze, the power buttons don't actually, the power sliding doesn't actually work. which take it, but the thingy still works. And you'll find that they have either the Alphard will come with either 5-6 speed automatic or a CVT gearbox. I'd recommend you buy one with a CVT because it will give you better fuel consumption, yeah. Ojakubo saving amko kumafuta. And then of course the one we bought was the 2002 model yatandikira ddala gwe mwaka ogwasookera gwe batandikira ddala. We bought a 2002 one, yeah. Now you can imagine the 2002 model car looks that good, which together. Now the second generation was launched in 2018 up to 2015 when they brought the hybrid, yeah. I'll tell you in 2015 there was an right and veil fire because the edabo embanji soma mu machine one diagnostic machine, the Alphard reads at the Toyota Alphard stroke Velfire. And then in 2015 they still kept the 2AZ, but then they brought the 3.5 liter 2GR, yeah. And yeah, the Velfire came in 2008. And then in 2015 we had the third generation, which has the 2AR FXE, which is a hybrid. They still maintained that they brought the 2AR, which is the 2.5 liter, and then the 2GR, which is the 3.5 liter. Yeah. So 2015, I would recommend that anyone buying a 2015 model Alphard buys the hybrid. Yeah. Now bagenda ba choose of course how it looks. The Alphard ina no butala bwa wano mubula bai every pillar kuliko butala, which makes it look really nice, and you can even activate them even when you're driving during day, and it looks really like it's really comfortable, has a very good suspension. Now what makes the suspension of the Alphard better than the newer suspension? Bushes zona zone zigenda mu Alphard zigenda ne mu kawundo ziba ngumu. Bushes zigenda mu newer zigenda mu primo ziba nafutokanga ate moroka nzito. So omuntu akanika suspension jakwesanga suspension eya newer ogikanika nnyo okusinga akanika ya Alphard, simply because of that. So I'll definitely be buying the Alphard because of comfort, especially for you guys that live near town or you guys that live near your workplaces. The only reason people are buying newer, I'm assuming, is because of the fuel consumption and the presumed ease of maintenance. Guys, how many Alphards have you seen broken down on the road? How many Alphards have you seen that run out of fuel? How many Alphards have you seen stuck in the garage? None. Sicho? So, the only reason you should be buying the new one now, especially if you're buying used, let me say you're buying starting at starting at 15 to 20 million. You should be looking at the Alphard. Na dala nga tobeera wala gwabere wala nga dala Alphard togisobola ne nuwo yinzo butagisobola. Bano banzimbye zero bwe. Do you know why taxis are still full for the people that live far from town? It's because most people buy cars and they can't afford them, and they end up having to take taxis every once in a while. People take taxis because emoroka amafuta gaganye. Kati fa abamu twabitegera tugenda vuga omoroka obutono n'obutono bunakalwa tugula hybrid bwenekalwa tugula ez'amasanyalaze. Yenda gula moroka y'amasanyalaze. Nze kati ne hybrid etabuse. Otherwise tujja kwesanga tufena tuzenge nyumba tuzisuddewo nga tugenze mu kupangisa. Ukitegeera. I just want to see a picture I took. There's a picture I took nga tuli eri. Where are my backups? There's a picture I took. This is the place where we were at the beach. Some of you guys have never been to this place. It almost looks like Uganda. And then this was when I was doing the outro of the show. So, and I had fun. For once, I think I drove like a Subaru guy. For once, I should get this out of my Google Drive. My Google Drive is getting full. I have to buy like 200 GB now. So that's the story of the Alphard. I would have preferred to buy the one of 15 million because it was better, but I have to go now, guys. And I normally on Sundays like deep cleaning day, deep clean everywhere, and yeah, and because I overslept, I did not do it earlier. But is it okay to buy the Alphard hybrid as a family person? Definitely. Zirobe is too far here. Jovan, katinzo ravede matugeno muchalo. Eh? But Arthur, when my wife came to you and asked about the Alphard, you recommended her to go for the new one. The Alphard in the bond is more expensive, Ray. That's why I recommended the newer. When you look at the budget we were working with, doesn't get the Alphard from the bond. Which take it Alphard mubondi we are guru. I'm recommending the Alphard for people that cannot buy a car from the bond, because from the bond ate Alphard ya bay. Which take it abantu abagule moroke yebwe era nono kumrecommending the Alphard. I recommended the Alphard because her budget could not get her a good newer, yet it could get a good Alphard. Katulabe Alphard je twaguze ku milioni 19 toina ojja nuwa nungi bwite ku 19 ne bwobufa toina wojijja ku 19. Well, you can imagine we bought that Alphard negendawo mu kyalo nuwa ye 19 tosobola genderawo mu kyalo tosobola. How much is a good Toyota Crown with very good engine? Crown is only in a good engine. Like no one can spoil the Crown engine because the engine in the Crown is the one with the Mark X. So I John on. But Crown is better than million 17. If they're older models, you can get 12, 13. The older models. If you want the models that are newer, 17, 18, 20 there. So guys, anybody that has 20 million. And below, I would recommend you look at the Alphard. The new watogenda jifunanga nunji mwezo senti. Nenga ate Alphard oja jifunanga nunji. But it's only for people that can actually afford the fuel. Ababere wala, bano bambera tuga. Tutani kugula hybrid. Let's go. Abasobolo guleza amasanyalaze. Muzigwenze ngenda kuya amasanyalaze. Ngenda ku masanyalaze. Ero liwalive najja nasinika amanyo naga atha. Kwala sende za hybrid eyo. Mugenda kunda bawono ngasi. Nvuga njoga ngantuka ku mulimbo enti nteka mu masanyalaze oluva kuno ntuke wakanga nja teka one socket yenjawulo wabweru wano tuke wakanga anteka but Arthur Zirobe is like Ruel on Bombo Road. Are you sure? But people live in Zirobe. Zirobe is that far? Zirobe Manyikayaza Road is made to look like it's nearer town than Kampala than Bombo Road. Zirobe wala. Never to have a Zirobe every day. Kadeba inovuge muruka za amasanyalaze. You see that there is an advantage with electric cars. You don't service because you don't have an engine. So you'll never need to service an engine. You'll never need to service a gearbox. Do you know why? Electric cars are like toy cars. They only have like 3 gears. They have parking, they have reverse, they have drive and neutral. Do they even have neutral? I think they do. Nezi ina gear, nya. Parking, drive, reverse. Zina neutral as a motoka. Zina satu. I thought people for useless fuel because it's a high. Until you use this fuel when you find neka to China. Katinze wembera. I drive like 7 kilometers nengwa mujam. I'm telling you. After I thought you know where Zirobe is. Too far, about an hour drive, and this is without traffic jam. Zirobe wala, but this manyi yo. Manyi Busika, and Busika is farther than where I live. Nzetemura bantu wembera wala, na ye Busika wala. How do I know? I was about to buy land there. Then I came and saw this place. Then the next day I drove to Busika to compare. Tatwa tuka Busika to akoma kwa university vajita batie ya Badvent. Bugema. Twakoma Bugema ngebugema na uwa rokusinga wano. Kati people live in Busika. Mama, I visit my friends in Matuga Chiriagonja, but it's far. Chiriagonja manyiyo. Matuga is guys are by distance. JK, it's far from where. That's because JK you're used to being in town. But JK, Matuga is Wachiso. kuba gwe manyo ine nyumba wa Kiso jeke matu guys wa Kiso era bwe envuga bwent ngo wa Kiso mu town so matu guys wa Kiso bugamba nti matu gawala mpozi gamba ko yingira ko munda ke kafuula weewala Prius I did a review Kasule I did a review of the Prius a long time ago bobo jagala jango gule buguzi yango ogende nja kusaida ko sente zinajigula zingine ngule moroka ya masanyarazi Busika and Bugema and Nia Zero is another Jovan this I'm telling you because I know I went and saw I saw land in Busika. The next day I came and saw here. The next day I said let's first go back to Busika because for us we were already living on Gayaza Road. So Gayaza Road would be nearer for us even to shift. We stopped in Bugema because Bugema is farther than where I am. I think anyone wendi wala. Hey. Hey. Zero is farther than Busika. Zero is near Babnani. Some people live on Gayaza Road and they just flex on us because Gayaza Road is not Gayaza Road because there is Gayaza High School. So Gayaza High School makes Gayaza Road seem like it's Dubai of Uganda. But us here on Bombo Road we are better. Gwebusika wala. Arthur, is there an option other than the card? Other than card? No, unfortunately there is no other payment. YouTube hasn't yet done mobile money. It's only card. But Airtel has a MasterCard. You can try to do the Airtel MasterCard. Which new model? I haven't. I will. Anigwe nagula na iweshi mukubira ampe konkole review. But this week I might actually do a review of a Jeep. I might also do a review of a Mercedes-Benz kanuka open roof ako. Yeah. But if there wasn't traffic jam, all those areas will feel nearer. Jeke wanewange ukumpi. Nekati wanewange, if there was no jam, I would travel to town in under 40 minutes. But because of jam, you use 1 hour. Nedda Jeke, oraba in the morning, I drive from Matuga to Buziga. And that's about 61 kilometers in an hour. Because I set off here at about 5:50, and I'm in Buziga at 7. But remember, I find a bit of jam along. Literally, entire Bombo Road is full of jam. Which take 80% of my work colleagues stay about 50 kilometers from work. It takes just checho. For just I think the jam, Nengudembi, which take it and the disorganization. I'll do a Toyota Wish review one of these days. Steve Barros, I'm seeing again the name and you mean wa twaze tuvuga convoy nge ya Subaru. I'm sure if you were in the road you saw the project car. Ngo wa Subaru. Wa Subaru yatuse na mva kakamoro kakatambula kali. Yeah, Kamuro kakata ambula kali. Na I had fun. The doctor's knowledge on cars was worrying, being that he owned 11 cars, but had poor. Martin Arthur, you'll be surprised how many people don't know about cars. Ngabaine Moroka. You'll be saying he was driving a TX. I saw it. Yadi have got TX, and when he was driving the TX in Angamba, TX in Nunji. That's the thing I've been telling you guys. When someone is driving their particular car, don't listen to them. Listen to other people. Listen to other people. I'm telling you. But of course, I've heard things about the KZ. Prado, I've seen people that have peace with the Prado. Arthur, you come, I show you a shortcut for Matuga Jam. Katambo gamba kurukadde. Orurukadde ndumanyi. Then manyine kana akakuba kaite mabega wa share no iteye manjo enogwa kusemuto road. Manyine eri omukitezi. Manyine eri ne kubo lo itirano kukobi no iteye mabege mu katale eyo. Nojja nogweno katale akokumabanda. Orumuno kaitako nogea nogwene nonga ewali katu isimaye bagita bichi park. Gwenze cheso ko kuiga wentuka for his shortcut. Steve Barros. Nze nkole moroka nenjiddamu. Nkole moroka nenjiddamu. Let me see if I have a clip of, you know, some of the shots were done using my phone and they back up on my Google Drive. Let me show you. I don't know if I have some clips of me driving. I even went to the church. There's this church that I went to. One about the church yawa. I went to the church and I went to the church and prayed. And then I realized Mirembe Maria Najera Vida. My fellow Catholics, am I the only one here with Mirembe Maria? Let me show you when I'm driving away. Don't we have network here? Now, when I got out of that, when I got out of that place, then the Sarah Nenji Juki, anyone on bad day in the movie bring, and I remember the prayer. What happened when I was there? Okay, the network is not networking. But all the exterior shots are on the other camera because I had two camera people. And look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Mwenze naga sikola muruka nenjiddamu. Wano twabadde mu jam. Jam webuseka mutegedde oku Northern bypass. Twambadde mu eddakiika nga 5 oba ssaawa. And that was when we were going. And then we saw about 2 garages on our way and we interacted with those guys. You guys, can you believe in Zigoti there is only 1 garage? Emboze nyumaneka nginde bana mundeke. Alphard, do you have good mechanics on hybrids in Uganda? A lot of them. And hybrids don't break down. Bwe mwakanda bange moroke enfideke mirundi emeka. But one thing I know, if you're going to be driving a hybrid, keep your windows up at all times. Your windows up. Any place in 60-kilometer radius is near. The challenge is just traffic jam. Remember, you can also do 10-kilometer traffic. Exactly. Alphard, what is your view on electric cars? Nze ngenda gula moroka. Wabali ayagala gula hybrid, ija nkuguze moroka yange nze ngine. So that ngenda kuwa shop ezitunda showroom ezitunda moroka za masanyaze ezuwera nganje chevuga mu moroka yo. So kekolesa njagala moroka ya masanyaze zikati amafuta. Mwabagayi, do you know sicha asobola moroka zinywa amafuta? Sicha azisobola. Sichazisobolera dache mba mula project kase ngamba de mwegereza. Usekata wa yatiro jibeera nze sijisobola. Enywa naye mama badi yangamye nze njimu wajevuge naye agenda kweyagala akamoroka kali sexy kali. Naye kati we have one challenge. Agenda jivuga dio kujja tugenda jijja mu kibuga emoroka je parking iwa ne wange mu garage. Ngibeerawo mu garage bwagira nagulawo ne yevuga mu ku kyalo okitegeera. Nomizabe zero we wala. Eziro we wala. Me I'm a born in Chitemu Masaka Road, but Matuga Jam is manageable than other roads. After I call a project, but I'd want to bring my Subaru to Yunango, tell me ebirungo. When a guy, any project in all the years that I've been driving these cars, mechanics have done functions on me. Now I know how to handle them. Gwonkora ke mikoro katinga nonya akusinga. That's the one thing katonda kiyampa kati. Sichenyola na bamakanika erimu nyibyekolera. There is a kasensa kenonya kati njabaraga. I even bought tools to test. I imported from eBay, and I'm going to be testing boost and budget boost and watt pressure, something like that. Aseka je mukono wafuate na yo. Mukono is near, but the jam there is like it's a menace. Atete mwina shortcuts. Ne shortcuts za mweza nazo zina jam. Ne shortcuts za nazo zina jam. For me, sometimes I contemplate on selling my car place. I have never contemplated on selling my place. Do you guys know that houses are some of the hardest things to sell? Hey. In a moroke in automatic thingy. Katejeko radio. a Jeko radio. Like if a radio is running for some time, for a long period of time, a moroke took an edge shutting down, yonga yo. Can Nyeko to Seko Kuying in a carton. Akating against the Gweneta. Also 360 camera on the Subaru, please. You bring Jovan. You bring. After how much do you charge for inspection? 450,000 for a full day of pre-purchase inspection in the Kampala CBD and 250,000 for the pre-sale inspection. So far, we have had one successful pre-sale inspected car sold in the very week. We inspected it. Eri yagana because munange omuntu gwena kwa pre-sale inspection yagana okumpuliza yena asigaza imotoka ku senteze. Nenga yamala n'agitunda yagitunda sente za yagitunda si yazayagala but because teyampuliriza nangamba gweteka ko sente zenjagala some of you guys munange mumote mumpuliriza kati ate natuka ngamba nzikendeze nga sobola kuvayo kuzikendeza omuntu obwe motoka abagenda mudondola nnyo but he sold it eventually. Shortcuts are maram so you can't jam. You think of shocks differently. Sekajja nze I think if let's just do 9 let's say 8 out of 10 times that I drive coming to Matuga oregulu mvuga maram si maram ono ali smooth owebinya but I can tell you I can spend 5 months nga sekanise moroka yange bushes simanya shoko zikola omwaka mulamba. I don't know where you people buy your parts from. Mwaka mulamba nga sikyusa shocks nkola emyezi 5 ku mukaga nga sikutte wansi mu suspension okitegeera so I think atenga mbera sivuga mpola nnyo sijaga ati mbera nziruka because that's incriminating yourself. One thing I realized, the nearest place to construct on with minimum jam is Entebbe Road. Emoroka zitambula ate it has an end point which is the airport and the lake, so fewer cars. Yeah. For me, I think one of the troubles that we have with Bombo Road is that it's a highway that leads to far places. So we have buses, we have trailers, we have lorries. It has a Bombo Road. Whenever I can get off the road quickly, I get off. I don't like to be caught in accidents. This lorry yaganya okusiba simanyeri yagudde ebyo mbambye wala buli wendi akataka bambye. What dealership sell genuine shocks and brakes plus good tires? Tires are tires. Brakes are brakes. Shocks, that's where we draw the line. I hear a lot of land dragons on Entebbe Road. Era tekiyinza kubulayo jekke. Hati buli omu ayagalayo. So it depends on what car you're driving. There are cars that are good with with used shock absorbers, and then there are cars that are good with new shock absorbers. Which again, like Subaru, bateka mu shock nkadde abasinga okugizaako giwangaza. Bwateka mu shock empya nga bitabuka. At least benda byeka abamu. Bateka mu Japan used. Guys, kamba sibule nongose moroka yange ngene nsitule ekyuma neme kuyiika. Awe malanziremu nebaki. Naye ogulayo jekke lwakuba wetaaga kugulanga. I find that there are places where you need to buy and build. Nga if you buy and don't build, you'll find that someone has built there. Right? And when they build there, they just have to pay you off. But you buy and build. But there are also ghettos on Entebbe Road. Me, I've been to ghettos on Entebbe Road where I would not build. Nga bali ku Entebbe Road nainga nsigala ematuga. Nga ghetto nnyo. Kati nzi sidda muzimba mu ghetto, nagana ghetto. Njagala nzimbe mu kitundu nga baneiba bange bagagga bansinga, nga I just get inspired. Kati neighborhood yaffe zeemu ebizimbe eby'amaanyi. Kati abantu abo bagagga. Okitegeera. You just tebalina budde bwo. Nobeera mu kitundu nga ate gwali ng'omugagga. Sijja kugira naye kamba siibule. 60% of you guys are still saying Noah. If you're going to the bond and you don't have a lot of money, buy the Noah. If you're outside the bond and you have 20 million, 25 and below, buy the Alphard. That's if you don't live so far away. 6% of you guys have said you buy the Serena. The Serena will disturb you because it's a Nissan. The Biante might not actually disturb you, especially if you buy it from the bond. Actually, there are those two cars, Serena and Biante, buy from the bond, not outside the bond. Na ate obuzibu obuziriko nti Serena jagisanga bagiguza milioni 27 nga ate nuwa ya 36 Biante ogisanga bagiguza ngambi 27 asatu because teri van ya milioni 2 mu bond jagisanga bagiguza milioni 3 nga nuwa so bagifuna kwa 38. The logic doesn't add up. The same thing with the Biante. But if you want something that is unique, the people that are buying Serena Biante, waliwo Nissan Elgrand, waliwo Mitsubishi Delica, the people that are buying those cars just want to be unique. If you're not looking for uniqueness, just buy yourself a Nua or Alphard. After we saw a Land Cruiser, I have no honest, my brother. What are you trying to do to me? I've not been able to drive that car. It even looks bad for me. Because you don't know how to design. You draw rectangles and squares. But hopefully I'll get to go and drive it. Test drive. Genda yo kondo maizo dealerships bampe ku motoka zawe test driving and I give you reviews as well. Yeah. Toyota Fielder 4-wheel drive. It's at a 4-wheel drive yesinga mu bond kati sicho. So for the guys that are going to the bond, you will know that 4-wheel drive Fielders are the most now. Almost all traders bring 4-wheel drive 1.5 liter Fielders, and that's what is happening now. People will tell you that teyongera munyo mafuta na yongera maintenance yongera because the differential is heavy. The only reason you should buy a 4-wheel drive is if you can't get a 2-wheel drive. In Uganda, we don't need 4-wheel drive. Can I get it wrong? I answered you, Derek. I said yes, you can get. Hi, President Otu Sengenda. Ida can see. Guys, thank you very much for being here. Mbajukiza tuatataka campaign ya First Stop Look Live. I'm sure about the Echimeza you have seen. You have seen the squeeze back that talks about the Stop Live Look Live. We're going to bring the official campaign videos so that you guys can join us on spreading the word on road safety. Yeah, and of course tell people about the channel. Let's subscribe to weza abantu emitwalo 10 tufune kiri ekintu kya silver kya YouTube. Trophy neze just njagala abantu emitwalo 10 community yongere ogejja esegera. Nebwaba mama mugambe subscribe mami subscribe. John's Info, Joshua Eden Farm, W Joshua Muyanja Derek, Richard Luanga, Felix Mani, David Tadesh, Muyombia Mark, Mpanga Godfrey, Danny Okeni, Albino Olak, Semwanga Sudais, Morris Atoms, JK, Katamba Isaac Katende, J Sekaja, Kasule Ramadan, Martin Arthur, Senyonga Michael, Charles Iga Mirimu, Senyonga Michael, Eric Oli, Emmanuel, Martin Arthur, Richard Aki, Kasule Ramadan, Sally James, K. Jovan, David Sembatia, Bab Senior, Benon Kakoza, Kidney Ashraf, Karota Uganda. Walo comment je bakwese oba yani YouTube je kwese nganye nange nganye okugira. Kasula Ramadan tujja kubira mama bani okufuna. Ate mama bani takwata simu zisimanyi na kubanya esimu agisuule yo nagiviira ko ddala. I think zene mama bani ekimu ku bintu ebadde bikyasinza okutuyombya mu bulamu bwaffe wonna butakwata simu. Checho. I think that's a thing that all women do. Tebakwata simu ebeerere. Okuja kati TikTok atuyambe konti abakazi babeera nnyo ku TikTok kati ulwabera ku TikTok n'okuba akwatirawo. Derek atuhaire Kasula Ramadan bamazeyo bantu bange Kabale Emmanuel Ray David Sembatia Christopher Kaija Mubiru Saul Low Honest Ronald Muchwa Frank Promo Myers Steve Barros Chamba de Hannington Maseruka Mark, Greater Light, Presido Antonio, Kasule Alonso. I wanted to try that Namamve Cup ball. If you're going there, tell me. Which one? What are you born in Namamve? Pearl Diaries, George Senkubuge, Mwezi Deus. Mama Banyamara, she has you. Osipa Nkunda. Hey. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for being part of this broadcast. Munsonyo kumisinga gulu mitiana yabadda nkutte. Naye mbagala nnyo. And of course, guys, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, nchimanyi we muli wano. Temunda subscribe mbalaba. Mubeera utonda subscribinga oli wano. Tutunyumya na tulozo oli munaffe. Kumbe toli munaffe. Guys, subscribe. Guys, I wish you a very lovely day. Kanjoze mmoroka. Ngene nsule ebyuma. Nabe. Kati ngende mbuli nonyo tulo. Guy, bye.